This is the video of King Setnakhte. He was the first king of the 20th dynasty. He ruled Egypt from 1198 BCE to 1186 BCE, 3 maybe 4 years at the most. But before we look at his reign, let's think what came before in the 19th dynasty. We had Ramesses I. We had Seti I and all of his campaigns in Syria. Then we had Ramesses II, who ruled Egypt for a very long time, 60 plus odd years. And he had lots of problems with the changing world, with the Hittites, the Mitannies, keeping that buffer zone, the retinue, which was Canaan, and Amuru, which was Syria, and that sort of thing, keeping that all organised. It was a changing world for them. And this is also was the decline of the Bronze Age in that part of the world. Then after him came Menreptah. He had problems with the sea people. Remember, it was the Confederation of Libyans and the Melwesh and the Selkesh and etc. Then after that, there were 14 years of usurping kings between Seti II and then Ramesses, and then after them came Siptah, who was slightly crippled and taken advantage of by Queen Tausret. Now, towards the end of Tausret's reign, there's an inkling that everything is collapsing. And that's when we think Setnakhte took hold of the situation and rescued Egypt from chaos. So Setnakhte married a royal princess called T. We think she may have been one of the daughters of Menreptah, and that's how he empowered himself with kingship. As I mentioned, there is hints of a civil war between Tausret in the closing years of her reign and King Setnakhte, and it seems to be that there is a loss of central authority, and that's what Setnakhte was concerned about, bringing order back to Egypt again. During his reign, he expelled the Asiatics. Now, the Asiatics are Egypt's way of describing what they call vile and wretched people. That's what Asiatics means in ancient Egypt. And they are the Syrians and the Canaanites. That's how they describe them. Those who dwell across the sand, those vile Asiatics. During the reign of Setnakhte, his son, who was called Ramesses, soon to become Ramesses III, when he became king, he actually commissioned a text to confirm himself as, to confirm his father as the rightful king of Egypt. Now, this text is on what we call the Harris Papyrus. It's the longest text on a papyrus paper. Some 1,500 lines of text are written on this papyrus. It was purchased by Anthony Charles Harris in the 19th century. And when he died, his daughter sold it to the British Museum for around about £10,000. Now, in today's money, that's £1.2 million. So don't ever believe that a museum has never ever got any cash. They've got loads of cash. If you're a national museum, you get loads of cash. So what's it say in this Harris Papyrus? It says, "The land of Egypt was overthrown from without. The land of Egypt was in the hands of chiefs, of rulers of towns." So that's saying that there is a loss of central authority and Egypt is in disarray. A certain Syrian was with them as chief. He set plundering the people's possessions and temples. Now, that could refer to the Asiatics that Setnakhte expelled from Egypt. Maybe they were going round raiding temples and stealing people's possessions, and that refers to that incident. But when the gods inclined themselves to peace, to set the land in its rights according to its accustomed manner, they established their son, who came forth from their limbs to be the ruler. So this is the text that Ramesses III used to make himself a legitimate king, by saying that the gods had appointed his father Setnakhte to rule Egypt. So every king obviously commissions a tomb in the Valley of the Kings, and Setnakhte was no different. So they started work on a tomb in the Valley of the Kings, KV 11, and they found that unfortunately as they were mining the tomb, it started encroaching on another tomb, Ramesses' tomb, which was KV 10, and for that reason they abandoned the project. So he was only on the throne for 3 or 4 years, and yet they had made substantial progress. So those workers in Della Medina are highly skilled at what they're doing in cutting these royal tombs. Now what's interesting about Ramesses' tomb, KV10, I forgot to mention this, but it needs a mention now. As they were mining and cutting those chippings and throwing the chippings out down the side of the slope, it was some sort of 10 meters above another tomb, and all those chippings that they threw out covered the entrance to Tutankhamun's tomb, and that's why his tomb survived. It was robbed twice in antiquity, and the priests had made good that tomb twice, resealed it, but it was these chippings covering up that lower tomb's entrance that saved it from being plundered later on in antiquity. So that's the importance of Ramesses' tomb, KV10. So what did Setnakhte do? Well, he opened up his former rival and competitor, Queen Tausret's tomb, which was KV14, and he had it extended beyond her burial chamber for his own burial chamber and rooms for his goods for the afterlife. So that was the provision and the burial for King Setnakhte. He started building a small temple at Karnak. Now this temple was supposed to be a way station, but he gave this responsibility to his son Ramesses, and Ramesses, no doubt, he was the namesake of the former great Ramesses of the 19th dynasty, and he's turned it into a small temple. Originally it was just supposed to be a way station, and of course he did exactly what his predecessor did. While he was there, he added his own decoration to the front of the temple, and he included statues of himself inside. So the original intention was to finish his father's project, but he ended up doing what Ramesses II did with Seti I. He usurped it. Now, I would really love to go to Karnak to make a video tour of the place. It's a 2-day tour at Karnak. No one could go to Karnak for 1 day and see everything and understand everything. So what I'd like to do is make a video tour which you can download onto a phone, and you can use it at Karnak while you're there. And it'd be me telling you about the history and things to look out for so you don't miss anything. Because so many people walk past things and they don't understand the layouts and who built these structures and that sort of thing, and the sorts of places to go to look and see. To do that I need funding. So on the next page is the link to GoFundMe. If you like this video, please could you make a small donation of £1. Every pound counts, and if we get to that target of £6,000, then in a year and a bit's time I can go to Egypt and make these videos, which I will upload on another YouTube channel, and they'll be free, not just to you but to everyone. So if you'd like to contribute in this work, there are many facets to this video project. It's not just going to be an Egypt video project. I want to encourage other archaeologists to use the medium of video to explain their archaeological digs. So once they've done their data extraction, they can go around and make a video of their site and explain the types of data they extracted. Okay, thank you very much for watching this and hopefully seeing it to the end. Please leave any comments or ideas. I'm always interested, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.